Alright, well, by the way, hello viewers, another beautiful day. Yeah, hope your five senses work, health and strength is good or excellent. Oh, no cat. Yeah, he's not here right now. But actually, yeah, he's outside. Probably roaming. Anyway, good cat though. But anyway, what I got for you guys? Oh, AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme features 3 SKUs, 16 CUs may be canceled. Rumor suggests there was a Z2 Extreme APU planned. Then it says I got two articles here from Tom. I got one from Tom Hardware and one from Video Cards. Listen to this. Says here next year AMD is set to launch its newest series of APU for gaming handhelds. The series known as the Ryzen Z2 will succeed the Ryzen Z1, which was used in the popular console like the ROG Ally and Legion Go. What we don't know is that AMD isn't prepared just one Ryzen Z2 APU, but 4. However, one of them has reportedly been cancelled. According to Golden Pig Upgrade, who was the first to share the Ryzen AI 300 naming change and specs, the Ryzen Z2 was originally planned to feature 4 models. And then it says here, the Ryzen Z2 Extreme was reportedly been cancelled. A model that was said to feature 16 RDNA 3.4 compute units, the same specs as the Radeon 8090M and the full feature Strix Point APU instead. Gamers should look forward to the Z2 Extreme, which is expected to feature 12 CUs, likely implying Radeon 8080M graphics. And then it says Golden Pig said this: the 16 CU Zen 2 Extreme is expected to be cancelled, so next year is expected to be 12 CU RDNA 3.5 Z2, 12 CUs RDNA 3 Z2, and 12 CUs RDNA 2 Z2G. Says here, according to a message on Bilibili, AMD is also releasing a Ryzen Z2 and Z2G, both are which expected to feature 12 compute units. The difference will lie in the CPU and GPU specs. Assuming that the GPU architecture defined the silicon used by AMD gamers will have various options: RDNA 3.5, RDNA 3, RDNA 2. The latter is expected to be used by RDNA2G, Z2G, which would most likely use Rembrandt silicon with up to 8 Zen 3 Plus cores. Ryzen Z2 likely features the Hawk Point APU, which means RDNA 3 architecture. And then it says it may sound a bit confusing, so we've made this chart to clarify everything. You got the Ryzen Z2 Extreme Strix Point up to 12 X Zen 5, and then 16 CU RDNA 3.5 cancelled. Ryzen Z2 Extreme Strix Point up to 12 Zen 5, 12 CUs RDNA 3.5. Let me see, coming in 2025. Ryzen Z2 Hawk Point up to 8 Zen 4s, 12 CU RDNA 3 coming in 2025. Ryzen Z2G Rembrandt up to 8 Zen 3 Plus, 12 CUs RDNA 2 coming 2025. Anyway, now the one from Tom's Hardware might explain things a little better. Listen to this. It says here, see if I can get it. See if I can get this here. I'm using the wrong thing. Let's see if I can get this. Listen to this. It says here, AMD Ryzen Z2 lineup leaks. Z2 Extreme rumored to have 12 RDNA 3.5 CUs. Z2 and Z2G using older architecture also in the works. The full 16 CU configuration remains a Ryzen A300 series exclusive. Says here in the paragraph, details of AMD's next generation Ryzen Z2 series of APU for handhelds have apparently leaked, shared by reliable hardware leaker and enthusiast Golden Pig Upgrade Pack at Bilibili. The Ryzen Z2 lineup will be segmented into 3 different products: Ryzen Z2 Extreme, Ryzen Z2, and Ryzen Z2G. Moreover, if the leak is correct, AMD will significantly beef up the iGPU in these APUs, each with 12 compute units. though the GPU and CPU architecture vary. And then it says the leaker also claims AMD was allegedly planning a 16 CU equipped Ryzen Z2 Extreme, but that design has been canned. There's a reasonable chance that power constraint prevent anything more than a 12 CU configuration from showing much in the way of performance gains. As it stands, AMD is hard at work developing its Ryzen Z2 family, with the new chip set to arrive next year. And then it says here, according to the leak, the flagship Ryzen Z2 Extreme will be based on Strix Point silicon featuring a 12 CU graphics solution, Radeon 8080M with a RDNA 3.5 architecture. This configuration would resemble a Ryzen A17 Pro 360 with 8 CPU cores, 3 Zen 5s and 5 Zen 5C. It would also come with 16 megabytes of L3 cache alongside 8 megabytes of L2 cache, 1 megabyte per core. Then it says the base Ryzen Z2 could be a major step up from the last generation, featuring 3 times as many CUs as its Ryzen Z1 predecessor. Using Hawk Point silicon, the Ryzen Z2 will offer a 12 CU base on the Radeon RDNA2 architecture. That puts it roughly on par with the current Ryzen Z1 Extreme. As such, we expect the Ryzen Z2 to feature 8 cores like the Ryzen 9 8948-45HS based on Zen 4, though a hybrid configuration is also possible. And then it says, finally, AMD will supposedly create even more budget option for handhelds by refreshing the Ryzen 6000 Rembrandt series in the form of the Ryzen Z2. It's not clear what the G stands for. All of these chips have integrated graphics with a 12 CU layout based on RDNA2. The iGPU would match the current Z1 Extreme, but with an older GPU architecture. This could be AMD rebranding or tweaking existing designs. The Ryzen 7 6800U / Ryzen 7 7735U, and the Z2 would come with 8 Zen 3 Plus cores. Given the potential focus on handheld gaming devices, the Ryzen Z2 Extreme seem much more balanced than the Z1 generation. That's assuming the leak is correct and that all the various models do indeed include 12 CUs, which should result in graphics performance, all landing with about 12 to 20% of each other. But nothing's official has been said, so it will be interesting to see how AMD pricing and configure these products next year. And that is that. Got one comment from Tom's Hardware. Let's see if I can get it here. Got one, just one. And the striker said this: it seems like this is more of a realignment of the expected stack than anything particular advancing. AMD and Intel both intend to require far too much CPU to get the top-end graphics for handheld type device. The fact that the Steam Deck can perform decently despite the anemic CPU compared to the Zen 4 APU says everything to me. It will be really interesting to see where the LNL in handheld form ends up performance-wise. In a perfect world, he said, in a perfect world, I did love to see 6 power optimized cores with equivalent graphics to 16 CU's RDNA 3.5 with the extra cache for the GPU, or wider memory bus if the power consumption can be managed. On the Intel side of things, depending on the efficiency curve of the Sky Mount, it might be possible to do 8 Sky Mount cores and use the extra space for more graphics. I imagine it's too small of a market for the time being, but with Intel titles, it seems like it's something they could do without the typical full silicon run cost. Well, let me get one comment here from Tom's Hardware. Let me see what the commenters say. Actually, he says, well, that's disappointing. If true, 12 CUs won't bring anything meaningful uplift. No, he says, well, that's disappointing. If true, 12 CUs won't bring anything meaningful uplift over current Z1 Extreme, and it will certainly lose against the upcoming Lunar Lake Power MSI Claw unless it turns out using more lower and Lunar Lake SKUs, which could be case since top and Lunar Lake SKUs seem to be way too expensive for handheld. And then Andre said this great opportunity for Intel and MediaTek plus Nvidia. And then Sav said this, I won't be surprised if ANEO uses the non-Z2 full die version in a handheld. And then let's see, Swamp said this, get more extremer every gen. And then Chris said this is disappointing, not surprising, it's like AMD wanted to fail. The 16 CU version is what I wanted. And then got one more comment here. If it really was canceled, then it was probably a reason. Perhaps power and cooling requirements were simply not suited to a handheld. Thermal throttling to the point where performance is not much better than 12 CU version, while only lasting half the time on the same battery, would be a good reason to cancel it. For example, just speculation though. Note that AMD will not stop any company from taking their mobile parts with 16 CU and cramming it in a handheld body. If nobody does that, then you'll know AMD was right to cancel it. And then Eric said this, AMD never disappoint to disappoint. And one more, Dart Batman, this is my last comment here. Dart Batman said this, so this is absolutely disappointing. What was AMD thinking? Why 8-core CPU? Why not a 4-core or 6-core with some 3D V cache and at least 16 CU address memory bandwidth, and get at the very least 8090M in there? Otherwise, I think Snapdragon or someone else is going to take over this space. With the new Strix Point chip coming with 12 cores and 40 CU option for a laptop, this makes absolutely no sense, and it's not an upgrade worth waiting for. I will get one X player using a Strix chip with 16 CUs or more when it comes out. Not going to buy into the Z2 junk they are offering. This is not an upgrade worth buying. So disappointing. What a shame. AMD, you have everything you need to make this right, yet you choose to screw your customers over. This is how you fail. Shame on them. All right, they got 49 comments, but I'm just gonna give you 6. Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this. Like Valve said, they're looking for a generational leap when it comes to handheld. This is just a rumor. This is not valid. This is not concrete. This is just a rumor by what's his name here? See if I can get his name here. By Golden Pig Upgrade Pack. So we'll have to wait till 2025 to see what all this means. But to me, this is it's not solid enough or concrete enough to be like, oh, this is what AMD is up to. This is just a rumor, and this is just probably a leak. So take this with a grain of salt, and let's wait till 2025. Appreciate what you got right now, and then when they come out with it, we'll see who will be using this Z2 or Z2G, whatever. Who will use any one of those those handheld parts? So we'll see. So yeah, and of course you got Nvidia and MediaTek, thinking about coming to the handheld market. So keep an eye on that. So take this, man, with a grain of salt. 12 CUs RDNA 3.5 or 12 CUs RDNA 3 Z2. Now, if that was RDNA 4, that would be a different story. But RDNA 3.5, well, we'll have to wait till 2025 to see what this all really means. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy, though. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal, Star Wars, Star Trek thing, or Dark Side. Go. Peace.